So if you follow me on TikTok, you already know I did a video on fullbacks. Now, I'll be going in a little more depth, talking about fullbacks and kind of the freedoms and expectations that they have, as well as what they can do to interact with the players around them. But before we get into that, please hit the like, share, and subscribe button, and comment below what you would like to see next, what position you would like to see more in depth, or a quick 60-second rundown on what they can do in my perspective. But first, let's talk about fullbacks. Okay, so fullback is kind of like the outside defenders of the back three, or back four rather. So let's assume you're playing in the 4-4-2, or let's start off with the 4-3-3. That ties in better with the short and with my TikTok. So 4-3-3, we have the fullbacks, center backs, fullback, and of course we have left and right center mid with the center mid, and of course we have our forward half as well. When you're playing with the fullback, one of the things that you always want to remember is that he needs to be closely connected to him and to that person. Same thing here, connected and connected. And the reason why we have this kind of connection is that these guys need to communicate and connect to move the ball forward. These two need to communicate to control the defensive line. So as long as there's communication between these guys on defensive and these two for attacking, the fullback is a huge utility in the attack and defense of the team. Now, let's assume we're trying to decide who should go forward and who should stay back. That comes down to your two center backs. They need to communicate and let you know, if you're a fullback, hey, we want you to push forward and we want you to stay back. So he stays back, he goes forward, or she goes forward. And what happens is now you three need to shift over to accommodate. So as the pressure's moving down, you guys are moving into position here. As the ball is moved down, say the ball is right here. Now this fullback has joined the attack and is closing down this lane, and you've got your midfielders and your strikers and everything else. So now you've got heavy pressure pushing in, and if the ball pops out, you still have these three to cover and to help keep pressure up towards the goal. The reason why we always keep a 2-to-1 ratio is because if you watch the Chelsea-Manchester game, what happened was everyone pushed up for a free kick. Everyone's up here in the box. You've got both the other center back, you've got the other fullback, and we had one guy sitting here, which was the other center back. And what happened was he recovered back, mishandled the ball, and got beat 2v1. Now you should never be 2v1 in the back because of this situation. If you 2v1 in the back, it's super easy to get beat because you've got the defensive line, but that doesn't mean anything, because if they're coming down like this, the defensive line follows the ball once it gets past the last defender. So we want to make sure that if we do play a heavy press game, we always try and keep at least, at minimum, 2 defenders back. If that means you leave the 2 center backs back by themselves, so be it. Depends on what the pressure of the game is at. So I personally prefer keeping fullback with the 2 center backs to keep a solid 3 back, because the chances of losing control in that situation are very slim. Now, not impossible, but very slim. So as long as they keep the defensive line, where you have one right here at the edge of the circle, one here. And I usually try and tell one of my defensive backs, try to manage your space between here and here. So the center dot and the bottom of the circle. You're moving back and forth, and this way you're moving that defensive line up and down, and you're kind of making it easier for you to manage the strikers of the other team. So it is a fun position. It's my favorite position to play, the left center back, or the left fullback, because it allows you such utility to move the entire field. But one of the biggest problems that people run into is you get exhausted because you have to work this entire side in the 4-3-3. Now in the 4-4-2 is a little bit different, and we'll talk about that here in just a second. But in the 4-3-3, you have to control your what are called lanes. Now this means you are covering the space to prevent the other team from executing down the line as well, but you also have to be a utility. Now what does that mean? Utility means that you're the player that is helping create combo plays to execute to the lines, to execute back into the center of the field to go to goal. So if we're playing fullback and we have our center back, we have our left, this is my left center mid, you receive the ball here, you pass up to here, you make a run, play it, into goal, pass into goal, and score. So we're creating kind of the triangle pass. As you can see, it's a bit of a triangle into goal. You have to find ways to work off of these people. Now, in the 4-3-3, you also have the winger, but they also want to be able to receive the ball and go to goal. So let's assume the winger is here, you receive the ball here, you're passing there, you're still kind of swinging in, they're going to goal, but now you have a utility to help close off that back post, or that near post rather, and we're able to really cause a lot of pressure moving down through this side. Once again, we keep the fullback back and you guys move that line forward, and now we control the field and we exercise down one side of the field. Now let's assume we're playing the 4-4-2. When we play the 4-4-2, it takes a little bit of the pressure and exhaustion off of that fullback, and they allow that reprieve for the left outside mid. So if you play a left mid, left outside mid, and it helps differentiate between, are we playing the 4-4-2 or are we playing the 4-3-3? And if you ever hear anyone say I play left outside mid, they're meaning they're not playing here, they pushed all the way to the line. Anyways, so let's say we're playing the 4-4-2, so fullback, center, center, fullback, left outside, center, center, right outside. Now what we've done is, as this moves forward, crashes the goal, you can kind of sneak in and cover this space. So now instead of clearing and being box to box, you're now just kind of working the side to be a reprieve, because this guy and you have to control this whole space. So now you've got two people controlling the side instead of just you being the single person. And of course, this is still the same. You receive the ball, you find the target, you're pinging the ball up and moving the ball forward, or passing here, outside mid moves forward here, and still we're creating the diamond shaped passing patterns that you kind of see here. So pass patterns, and we're moving and still controlling the side. So if we'll see it on the clear side, once again, received here, pass here to goal, or pass here, and now we've gotten the control going on up through the middle in exercising to the sidelines. A lot of people think you should never play down the middle. Well, sometimes you can, but when you execute to the side and you really push, and the reason why I have this guy all the way to the line, is you create what we see here as space. We want space down the middle because that provides us the ability to stretch our opponent out and create opportunities and pockets of space into the goal to play into. If we're constantly playing down through the middle, what happens is this goes away, and now what we've done is we've closed it and we're trying to scrunch everything. Serious talking. And we're crunching everything into the middle, and it's now just crammed in. And as you can see, we're trying to create passes and it's just not working. So that's the reason why we know our fullbacks, outside mid, really controlling the outside field and spreading it out. Now, of course, once we're on the defensive, what do fullbacks need to do? In the 4-3-3, we want to make sure we drop back and control that space. So in the 4-3-3, 1, 2, 3, fullbacks drop back, cover, and now they've controlled the space. And of course, the fullback is still controlling everything outside the 18, but they're compact so that they can still work with their center backs, and the center backs can work with them. The left and right outside center mids can of course drop in, and now they're covering this space here, and the fullback is able to, if we win the ball here, spreads out, is passed, and now we've moved the ball away from pressure and can go to goal. So playing fullback is not always the easiest positions, but when you realize that, hey, I can work with the people around me, life is a lot easier. Spread the field, but also remember, on the defensive, we need compact. If you have any other questions, please feel free to let them be known in the comments below, or you can email me at shrewsburysoccer1@gmail.com. So guys, thank you so much. Be sure to check out my podcast that I post on here, as well as on iTunes and Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and pretty much any podcast that you listen to, you can find me. I'll put all the links in the description below. Thank you so much, and I'll see you guys on TikTok and later on YouTube.